Top of the hour, so we might as well jump in here. You guys, I like the format of this. Jen, we'll make our little introductions here in a second, but I like the format of this. So Jen and I are it almost becomes live podcast, Jen, which I think is great instead of like presentational, which I think tends to bore people from time to time. We've got a few different talking points, and it is all about aligning your marketing with your team going into 2026. I think that, again, I think it's really, for me, because we've been doing it a long time, it's easy for me to put a marketing plan together. But how do you involve everybody on your team, the metrics that they're tracking, the responsibilities? How do you track that? How often do you track it? And so the format will be going through topics around this. And then Jen and I are going to be jumping back and forth on screen share. So my hope is that there's always a little technical finding the right screen and all that stuff. So bear with us as we do that. We got a good turnout, Jen. You were talking Schwab Impact going on, but we got a good turnout anyway. So that's good. Real quick, you want to lead us off? My friend Jen Goldman, my virtual COO. I love your little piece in the background there.
Like that. That was a gift actually from a past employee when we talk about teams in upsizing, right sizing, downsizing. So I'm so happy to be here. And for those of you who don't know me, I am an ops geek. I'm all about business scaling the operations to support the growth and frankly, the sanity. So let's just go for that theme today, if we could.
Yeah. Keep our sanity. And I'm Charlie Van Derven. I see a lot of familiar names on here, so a lot of you know who I am already. Social Advisors we have a very process-driven approach to marketing. And by doing that, we can measure results and in large sample sizes. And then in other cases, I act as a fractional chief marketing officer for a number of firms as well. And so I think we got a good panel, if I can tout us a little bit, Jen. And the room continues to fill up, so that's awesome. Here's what I want to kick off with, Jen, if it's okay with you. So we started doing a marketing survey last week. So we don't have a lot of results on it yet. We sent one email out. We'll send out a second email, I think next week. We haven't posted to social media yet, but we're really compiling data up till the end of the year. So we'll have at least a few hundred results by the end of the year, but I think we're working with 18 right now. So what I'm going to present to you is not the final output of this marketing survey, but I think it speaks a lot to the conversation we're about to have. So why don't we start with that? And now I got to share my screen and find the right screen. So bear with me a second while I do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
There we go. Okay, very cool. So again, very preliminary stats, but I found this interesting. No surprise, right? Referrals, and this is marketing channels. What's driving the most for you is referrals. That's always been the case, right? I like, Jen, I like unsolicited referrals. I think most advisors I've seen ask for referrals probably need to refine that language a little bit. But of course, we like unsolicited referrals. LinkedIn, people finding success on LinkedIn, that's awesome. Seminars and webinars, this is one of our best producing strategies. This is a good conversion strategy where we use things like LinkedIn as a top of funnel, how to meet the right people, how to get the right people into your email database, seminars and webinars. So I found that interesting. Email marketing as well. Social media posts hits about 5% of your network on LinkedIn on average, 5 to 7%, whereas email marketing can reach a full audience. So I really think email marketing is the most important marketing asset for our advisor community. And for me, for social advisors, that's certainly ours. Any of this shock you, Jen?
No, not at all. I think the idea of no ads, I'm actually okay with that because it's in flux. Again, let's see what pans out over the next month, and I hope everybody fills it out.
Yeah. Well, we'll get much more data.
Yeah.
The days of cold calling are clearly gone.
Yeah, that's good to see. I have a little PTSD from that. And for those that you don't know, I used to be an advisor and in sales. So
yeah. All right, moving on. We've only got 4 slides on this, so we'll move pretty quickly. These are the challenges facing advisors, right? So inconsistent lead flow. I'll tell you what, that doesn't surprise me whatsoever. I think one of the challenges most advisors have is creating urgency so people make decisions. And certainly you've got to nurture people sometimes 2, 3, 4, 5 years before they're ready to make a move, or something happens in the market, or their advisor does something and now they're ready to jump, and you've got to be present for all that. CRM pipeline not organized, working with advisors, another CRM, I recognize this. No email strategy. This one on the bottom, I think, is probably the most important, right? So that lead flow happens when you build a good standout brand. So create consistent content, better lead generation strategy, that kind of falls in line with the others. Here's the one I wanted to get to. Do you currently have someone providing marketing leadership? Somewhat. So that was not surprising to me. But I think when it comes to marketing, it's very much flinging the latest, greatest thing against the wall and hoping it sticks, whether that's buying leads, whether that's buying data and doing cold email, whatever that is. Someone driving strategy and making sure that everybody is in lockstep, which we're about to talk about here with marketing strategy. So this is the one that I think pertains the most to what we're talking about today. It's not just the marketing, it's the people driving that strategy. So real quick, I'd love for each of you who have joined Jen and I today to take this. Don't take it right now. It's going to take you about 5 minutes. But if you want to scan the QR code, I'll leave this up for a few seconds. We'd love to get your input on this survey. And there's a few more questions in that survey. It's not just those 4. But at the end of the year, we'll publish this 2025 marketing survey. And anybody who takes it and leaves their contact information, of course, we'll get the results of that.
Awesome.
Leave that up for a second. And 3, 2, 1. All right, Jen. Very good. Back to home screen. So we'll be jumping around quite a bit here. The topic of our conversation, Jen, design a 2026 ready strategic plan that bridges vision and execution.
Mm.
What does that mean?
We all have that dream. I think we do this every year. We're
I
going to do it a
think we
little
do too.
differently this year, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm going to call it a realistic plan. So it's a strategy plan around all the different pieces. But how do you do that when you don't have leadership? Or how do you do that when you are the leader, but also the business developing advisor, owner, and multiple hat wearer? So I think that's how we're going to tackle. So you want to start with yours and then I'll share mine. We're both living in the same systems for strategic planning and I'll add a little capper onto it. So why don't you explain what you do and then I'll cap it.
Yeah, that sounds good. I think one of the primary jobs of a CEO or a founder or a leader on a team is to communicate vision. It should not be their job to facilitate that vision. That's why we build teams of experts around us because they've got different skill sets to facilitate that vision. I want to be able to show tools as we go along here. In facilitating that vision, one of the tools that we use that I don't know that once we've got a marketing plan in place, right? And we know what the steps of each one of those marketing plans are, whether there's a PR component, an email component, an SEO component, a social media, obviously, and maybe perhaps a cold email, perhaps paid ads, is to be able to develop a project management game plan. And I think people track this still with pencil in a lot of cases. So one of the tools that we use, and I'm actually going to show a bit of a live environment, which I do, but I'm not revealing anything, but one of the tools that we use every day with everything we do is Asana. And I know that's something that you guys are on as well, Jen.
Yeah, we're a huge fan. We've been using Asana anyway, I'm not going to date myself because then I age myself. Yeah, Asana, and I would love you to show that because we're a huge believer in it. But for those of you, some of you use Smart Sheets, some of you use ClickUp, there's Basecamp, there's other tools out there. It happens to be that Trey and I both use Asana. We did not confer on this, to be honest with you. Asana has multiple ways for the brain to take in information. And so we're very aware of neurodiversity. And so it actually helps with that too, because you should not be doing this alone, what Charlie's about to show.
Yeah, and I may not get real deep with it.
Oh, that's okay. And I'll show after that the format within Asana that we happen to, because Asana is adjustable as anything might be.
Yeah. So again, live environment. So we share a couple names on here, but that's okay. So we've got clients doing a number of different things on Asana, right? So we build out, for example, we run webinars for a lot of advisors. And so we've got a webinar board. So anytime there's a webinar going on within our firm, there is all of these webinars that are coming up, all these webinars that are occurring, replay sent. So the beauty that I like about this is the ability to set up every stage of a marketing strategy, right? In our case, because we're building promotional materials for our advisor clients, a lot of it pre-launches. What's your title? What's your date? What's your time? What's your description? And then creating media for that, getting client approval on that, setting up the event through Zoom, through LinkedIn events, and wherever else we have to set that up depending on the client. We've got to hook up some technology in there. And so what at the end here is all the results of that. And then we like to archive it so we can track in a large sample, we can track everything, large sample sizes as to the success. So every month for a lot of clients, we produce content, right? So again, every single step of that content production, right from sourcing the ideas
Mhm.
to writing the blogs and the emails and the social content that goes along with it, to the advisor approval, the compliance approval, and all of that, right on through to scheduling. And
Right.
then we archive all that again because we're tracking stats on all this stuff. This is one of the most important tools that we use internally. Now we're running dozens and dozens of marketing projects, right? And so being able to run this within your team, it's not going to be built out maybe to the extent that ours is, but Asana is a great tool that you're going to want to look into.
Yeah, I think any business, whatever you're working on, whether it's marketing or HR or talent, or you need a tool that complements your CRM. The CRM is for sales, client, that sort of thing, but for strategic work and for collaboration. Let me tack on a second idea to this because I think it's super important. And can I share? Will be the question.
You should be able to.
Yeah, let me just make sure I'm sharing the right thing here. I don't want to share my whole screen. So can you guys see this initiative? Charlie, can you see this initiative benefit
Got it.
assigning?
Yep,
Perfect.
got it.
Okay. So within Asana, keep it simple. First of all, there's templates inside of all of these software programs for marketing and content. So use the template. What's most important to do strategic work and ideation, as I call it too, is to think of the what, the why, the who, and the when. So if you can identify this, sanity will prevail. I can promise you that. So this is the format that we use embedded inside of Asana or embedded in any sort of system. So every single idea is what are you going to do? Why are we doing this? What's the benefit for it? We use a 4P mechanism, and then who, and then when comes last. And what Charlie is alluding to also in systems is there's these things like task templates. If you're doing a webinar versus a social post or something else, there's literally a series of steps you will do every single time for that. And so that is already pre-populated. You just build out like just like a CRM, a simple task template or a workflow. You can do that very simply. And honestly, your lowest level staff person can do it. These tools are that easy these days.
Yeah,
That
pretty
being
awesome.
said, I'm going to throw it back to you.
Yeah, Jen, how often when, for the project marketing project,
Yeah.
how often are teams meeting on that? What do you recommend?
Weekly.
Weekly?
Weekly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that the ball's moving so fast. There are so many curves and things that come up that I think weekly gives everybody a sense of being grounded. And also too, then it avoids you peppering in through the week talking to each other. Because I think we all have other hats that we wear inside the business. You get to wear, Charlie, the marketing hat. But if you're inside the business, you're wearing 3 or 4 hats. Yeah.
No doubt.
And the beauty of the weekly is you are still communicating in between on these collaborative boards. And we're going to show you a lot more visual tools today, but all
Yeah.
of this is what I call async collab, meaning you can pop in and do your work quietly, separately from someone else, and then they pop in, see what you did, and move forward. So it doesn't have to be all done verbally.
Yeah. Awesome. Very cool. Jen, one of the things that talking about more visuals, right? One of the
Yeah.
things that we do for most of our marketing strategies is build a workflow. And I know that you've got a couple of examples of that. Do you want to start off? And then I've got one that is just a sample. Again,
Yeah,
not,
yeah.
not a live client on this one, but yeah, if you want to start and show what your marketing workflow looks like.
Yeah, I'll show you two different because we might call them something different. So we think about it from an operational, we think about the journey. And so this is a swim lane style. There's lots of different ways you can do this, so don't get all freaked out. Also,
I got,
two,
I got freaked out.
I know you did. I know. This is more complicated. It doesn't need to be this way. Sticky notes, whiteboarding, just write out the steps that happen. Don't worry even about the order because that's the beauty of markers or an electronic board like this. So we'll either write out the journey if we're trying to think about where that person starts from, like seeing us on a webinar or a website, and
Yeah.
start. And as soon as you write, I swear you will identify gaps and places where you fall short and aren't reaching out to that person.
Yep.
The other way to do it is a funnel approach. So the top was like, they call it swim lane. The bottom is a funnel. And so it's from top to down. So I'll go a little bit bigger because it's really hard to see. And again, this is not fully comprehensive, but like, how do people find you? Then what happens to them as they go through this journey, but now it's vertical, right? And there's the middle of the funnel, you're narrowing down all the way to the bottom, and that's when you get to the point where you're going to do a one-on-one with them.
Yeah.
Because marketing is one to many, one-on-one. So
Yeah. It is so much easier for me to view that vertical for whatever reason
I-
than the other one that you had up is
that's right. It's how our brains work. This is that neurodiversity effect. But here's the point. If you're verbally talking about it, forget about it.
Yeah.
You
Uh,
got to put it somewhere in a visual. And there's so many tools out there that are super cheap. Or again, we can go back to just whiteboards and paper or marker.
yeah. So here's a sample.
Oh, that's your script.
Oh, I don't want, that's the wrong one. You got
You guys see our secret sauce. We actually prepare.
see how prepared I am.
We care for you.
Let me, how did I do that?
That's so good.
All right. Do we have the right one now?
Yes, we
All
do.
right. Very good. Oh, you weren't supposed to see the script. You're supposed to think this was all off the top of my head. So a little more visual in that we've got some social badges plugged in there, but essentially it's the same thing, right? It's top of funnel. How are we finding people? And then middle of funnel, and really a lot of what we've broken down here is a lot of the messaging that goes along with it, right? What's the client experience on the bottom one? If this is for real estate, it's property value, curb appeal, and then liability and risk mitigation along the top, right? And then for bottom of funnel, we talked about webinars in the first step. Bottom of funnel, I'll tell you what, Jen, our best for conversion tool in this industry has always been and continues to be educational events, right? So it is about, if you're nurturing 1,000 people, who shows up to your webinars or your seminars consistently? Those are the people that are ready for a deeper conversation, right? So it is, anyway, so same thing, right? Just understand how people are coming into the
Right.
funnel. Visual is always better for your team. One thing that yours didn't assign and mine didn't assign, Jen, would you put people who's responsible for this step of it? Would you
Yeah, that
include that
whole
into the
the
funnel?
4W, like the who, the why, the
Yeah.
what, the when, I actually embed that in the flows.
Okay.
Yeah, I love that you use visuals on the logos. When you're doing this electronically, we like to pull in the logos too to let them, because that's the how. Like what is that happening in, or what tool are we using? And
Right.
obviously, I'm ops. I want to see as many tools, affordable tools used as possible so that the people are doing their best. They're doing the strategic work, not the admin work.
Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah.
Very good. It's
We have
also the
so much to
conversion.
cover.
I know, right? I'm just making sure that I'm hitting all my notes
Yeah,
here.
me
So,
too.
so operationalizing growth goals, processes, accountability, team alignment.
Yeah.
We key on a series of metrics, right? And I can show some tools around this too. Number one, for many of our strategies, obviously starting at top of funnel,
Yeah.
right? Your best top of funnel strategy is LinkedIn. LinkedIn makes it so simple not only to find who it is that you want to do business with or you want to attract into your network and your community to nurture over time.
Mhm.
The beauty of that is the beauty of that is everybody's got so much information on their profiles. So they give you a dozen different ways to start a conversation with them and break that ice and start to build rapport. It's avoiding gatekeepers, right? You can run an end around because you don't have to go through an assistant or something along those lines. So I love LinkedIn. Now, LinkedIn is slow. Like
Right.
LinkedIn is one at a time. We've got some tools that expedite that to some degree. Other top of funnel, cold email. Now, if you're doing cold email, you've got to be very careful. You've got to do that in a way that is not compromising your domain name. So you've got to make sure that you're not getting a high degree of spam or unsubscribes or bounce rates because that'll hurt the quality of your domain name with the email clients that are out there. Advertising. I'll share with you that we like Google display advertising more than we do say Meta or LinkedIn ads.
But here's the thing, is you talk about all these things, it is a lot. And I think that from an operational standpoint, if I have to be in the shoes of a business owner or an operator, how do you keep track of all that? Like, how do you start to say, okay, I do need to watch this to make sure I get the ROI
Yeah.
or call it a day? I want to show mine first because yours
Yeah,
is
go
more
for it.
sophisticated
Sure.
and mine is very rudimentary. And the reason I go with rudimentary is I just need you guys to start somewhere and not make this so complicated and not get in your own headspace about having a fancy tool. That being said, it can be done better than this, full disclosure. Let me share this. Yes. Oh my gosh, I'm showing Excel. And I even have old technology in here on purpose, guys. So we always tell firms, this is simple. You guys are in the financial space. Guess what? You know how to use Excel. Go for it. List everything out that you think you can measure and then assign it to your lowest level person right down to the VA to log in and pull the data once a month. And just looking alone at the visual of the ups and downs and the swells will start to tell you a story you didn't know was happening.
I love that report.
It's simple.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be fancy to be effective, right?
No. And then we need somebody like you to read it and go, oh, that's why. Or
Yeah.
correlation between this happened in May and that happened in July. That's actually correlated.
Yeah.
Hmm.
No, I like that report. In fact, I'm going to ask you for a sample of it after we're done.
Okay.
All
I
right.
actually give it in a download. So everybody
Well,
here can have a sample.
there you go. Very cool.
Yeah.
We'll get to that little later on.
Yeah.
Yeah, that teaser.
I,
All right, let me share because we do more online dashboard than anything else. And so from that top of funnel, what you're looking at is a dashboard that we use to run some of our LinkedIn outreach strategies. So this is based on a very specific audience for this particular client, but and there's a lot of things that this dashboard does, but we'll look specifically at this page. We're sending 20 invites out a day on their behalf. And so you can see in the last 14 days is what this default to. The system has sent out 193 invitations and they've gotten 33 connections. And so it'll track the front end LinkedIn stats. But where the rubber meets the road here is actually when they enter the CRM. Okay, so I'm on the right ones. This is people connected on LinkedIn, then entering the CRM. And if we go to their dashboard, for example, and this will preload in 30 days. Let's spread this out a little bit so we can actually get some stats of some closed business here. And so I moved it out to 60 days. So this is a platform called Go High Level. It is a wonderful prospecting CRM. It certainly isn't going to replace what you use for your clients, right? Your Redtail or your Wealthbox or your Salesforce derivative. But we're tracking how many people are coming into the system every day. We track that, I'll show you in a second, by source of those leads. This is tracking sales outreach, right? So in the last 60 days, they've got, and they're tracking revenue, or they're tracking not revenue, but in the last 60 days, they've got 8.7 million in flux in that sales cycle somewhere, and they've closed 2.8 million, right? So if we go down a little further, we keep track of tasks, but this is a really important piece here, right? Where are they coming from is probably the most important aspect of this, and reviewing that consistently to know where are we spending money, where are we spending time, resources, and then what's actually the most effective. So it's a great platform. If you guys haven't seen it before, again, it's called Go High Level. You can hook your website up to it. We don't have this one hooked up to it. And if you're running ads, you can track all your ad spend. This particular client is not. But so it's a pretty great tool to be able to reflect on all this upfront money we're spending, hiring marketing services, paying for ads, paying for email. Where are our results actually coming from at the end of the day?
that's right.
Yeah.
Thanks you for blowing our minds.
Ha ha ha.
No, for those that don't have a system, right, or can't get buy-in from, let's say some of you are not in the position of pulling out the credit card, right? You gotta, but to make the case is to visualize. And that, by the way, for any of you that are struggling with this idea as an operator, to try to sell up the idea of needing the system, because data is so important. It saves you from so many costly missteps. Mock it up. Again, use Excel, use whiteboard, whatever it is, and just show them a sample. And I think sometimes visuals sell. Don't be shy about doing that.
Yeah. Agreed. Agreed. Jen, what metrics do you key on when you're meeting with your clients, whether it's front end marketing metrics or internal operations metrics?
Yeah, so the key on the usuals. For me, I look at the patterns among the correlation among email dripping, LinkedIn connections, any PR for doing webinars, that sort of thing, looking for
Sure.
spikes at that point. Also, we have lead magnets. So that's a big one for those of
Yeah.
you that don't know what a lead magnet is. It's the idea that somebody subscribes into something and then you have their data. So we look at that. And that's about it. I'm not complicated like most firms, to be honest, because I'm a
Well,
smaller business. It's even with a marketing agency, it's a lot.
yeah, yeah. I don't think you've got to make it complicated.
No.
You've got to know what your benchmarks are. I'm going to share my screen real quick, and I'll show you lead magnets. And everybody knows you've seen these before, whether they're
It's like a
clients.
freebie, guys,
Yeah,
right? Give
right.
them something for free.
So this is the resources page on our website,
Mhm.
right? 21 things every advisor should automate. Of course, these are for creating leads. Now, when someone downloads this, they automatically get moved into that Go High Level environment, and then that environment will trigger the emails that follow this sequence.
That's right.
And of course, that's measuring who's opening, who's actually doing the
That's right.
download, who's responding, who's clicking on your links, right? So we can get some
Mhm.
kind of intelligence around how
Mhm.
active they are and how potential they are for next steps. So anyway, so that's a lead magnet. With tools like, I hate to give away the sauce, with tools like GPT and Canva, these
Yeah.
things where you needed a designer and a copywriter 3 years ago,
Yeah,
it's changed everything.
that's right.
It's pretty amazing. All right, very cool. I want to look at one other, Jen, if you don't mind me sharing one more screen.
No, go.
Make
Yeah.
sure let's make sure I find the right one. We actually track a little bit manually as well. So we got all these great dashboards. So I've got a number of coaching clients, and I won't start to talk about all that goes into that because it's a lot, right? We've got 7 different pillars that we're coaching on. But a lot of that, it's a combination of that Go High Level dashboard and what we're seeing here. And it's setting your goal for the year, right? I know it says 20 million here and 12 million here. We got to change a couple things. And maybe your goal is, maybe a successful year is 5 million, right? It's tracking your latest clients.
Yeah.
And not only we're tracking referrals and introductions here, but I want to track again that source. Their minimum being 500,000. So tracking who's under 500, who's above 500. I might even track wallet share, top clients with outstanding with assets elsewhere. Tracking that here, client assets elsewhere.
Yeah.
A couple other things we do just very quickly is a list of advocates. I've cleared all this out as to not share any data, but a list of advocates. So an advocate
You
being
mean raving fans?
raving
AKA?
fans. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
If
a
you guys
list,
haven't read that book, read the book. Short.
so we use 4 criteria,
Mhm.
right? First off, do you like working with them?
Mhm.
Life's too short to work with jerks. Now, if you're 2 years into the industry and you got to build revenue, maybe you can make some exceptions, or that line is blurred a little bit. But if you've got a seasoned business, work with people you align with. The old adage, if the phone rings and you don't want to answer it, it's probably not a client you want. Doesn't, if they're causing trouble for you. But so do you like working with them? Number 2, are they social? Our intention here is to get introductions, right? So if they're not social and they don't hang out with anybody, it's tough for them to make introductions. Number 3, have they referred to you in the past? So they already get that. And then number 4, and not necessarily in this order, is their asset level, right? So do they look like a client that you'd want to work with? Partnerships, right? These are typically webinar guests. Jen, you would be a partner of mine in this case. Tracking accountability tasks, right? What do they hold themselves accountable to as far as their business development tasks every week? People in their pipeline, getting strategic around that.
I was going to say, a lot of this can be done in the industry CRMs too. Not ideal.
Sure can.
I'm with you on the go high levels, the pipe drives, those systems
Yep.
complementing their traditional CRM. But again, I'm being fair, for those that are non-owners and don't have the credit card in their hand, you can bake this into your current CRM using multiple opportunity pipelines. So one could be for advocates, another could be for partners, another would be for leads, another would be for existing clients with more opportunity to expand the engagement.
Yeah.
So,
And I'll show you a little bit of that after this. But PR, who are we tracking for PR
yeah.
opportunities? We run a LinkedIn interview strategy that works pretty well. And so tracking that as well. Just making sure that you've got all your metrics down. Jen, you were talking about multiple opportunities. I could just jump back over
You
that.
can probably show that.
I can. Yeah.
Prepare you for that.
So if we go, so this is the same client we were looking at, but you can see we've got what, 7, 8, 9
Yep.
9 different opportunity. Right now we've got 3 advisors working it, but
Mhm.
9 different opportunity workflows where we've got, maybe they reach out to this Brian and they don't doesn't it doesn't connect with Brian, so we drop him in the second touch point.
That's right.
Or maybe he does and he expresses interest. We can drop him in
Mhm.
the expressed interest. So,
That's right.
and then that's where all of that dashboard information is actually flowing from,
Mhm.
right? That stuff that we just looked at a moment ago. So
That's right.
yeah.
And again, the beauty of doing it in a system, whether it's that or another, is it's e-shared. So somebody else can come in and maintain with you. Full disclosure, just hired a business ops manager for my business. I'm on the second run of
Awesome.
scaling. Yay. And he's going to hold me accountable. And I will tell you, he's young and he's going to do a great job because everything is transparent. Everything's right there in front of him. And between seeing, this is what's great about it too. Starting 2 weeks ago, literally within 3 days, already holding me accountable because we literally handed him the funnel, we handed him the process, we handled him the system where it's all tracked, and it
Yeah.
was in a way that he could understand the data really quickly.
That's awesome. How do you guys do with your SOPs? it's a little bit off topic. It certainly is not
No,
it is not our
no,
note
but
sheet.
that's on our list. Listen, it's the same as process and workflow. For us, we build them right into the CRM.
Yeah, cool.
Yep. So we actually have separate, some people use protocols and they don't use them actively. That's like a operations manual. In the old days, you had the Word document. We actually build them in and we just don't actively use them, but we use the workflow or process tool right inside the CRM.
Very cool. I'm trying to think off the top of my head, the tool that we're using, I can't even come up with it. Scribe Now.
Yes.
My
Amazing.
gosh, you guys, if you have to build workflows, or I'm sorry, not workflows, but SOPs, check out Scribe Now. They've got a free option for you, which is ridiculous because it's an amazing tool where it'll actually do you just walk through it on your screen. And Scribe Now is taking all the notes and capturing all your screenshots and everything to build this SOP. Something that might have taken you an hour 3 years
Yeah.
ago literally takes you 5 minutes now.
Yeah, we actually use, funny you said that. We use Loom. By the way, everybody, Loom is free if you don't use it too often.
Yeah,
And everybody on my team has their own Loom license pro. And
yeah,
so we capture everything because we know it's a moving target. Whatever we show this month, we change next month.
true.
We actually communicate with our clients, with our partners, everyone using Loom videos. Because we know also too, I don't know about you, but I watch everything on 2.0 speed and I listen
Yep,
to everything at 2.0 speed.
yep.
Yep. So great speed tools like the scribe, but also the video.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So Scribe's going to create a document, whereas Loom's going to create a video
Great
walkthrough
video.
of it. So yeah, they are
That's right.
very
Same.
complementary of each other. Yeah,
That's right.
yeah, very cool. The last topic we want to hit on, Jen, and then I know
Mhm.
you got a really awesome giveaway.
Working on it.
Yeah, it
Got
was
to prove it. We can't be hypocrites here.
no, I listen, it's really cool. I downloaded it about 30 minutes before our start so I could take a look at it and get familiar. It is a great tool, but I'll let you present that. Collaborating across departments.
Yeah.
Maybe this is a bow to put on the entire conversation. It's not just your processes, it's not just your goals, it's not just your plan. It really is your people.
Yeah.
So, what's the easiest way, the best way? We talked about meeting cadence already. We talked about tools. Any other tidbits that you can share there?
This is a tidbit that isn't in the download, so you guys will have to hit me up separately. I just did this last week, and Charlie and I actually overlapped at a conference. Let me share with you because I take this for granted that this is such a simple concept, and I've realized now that it is not. Where we run into trouble in a business is we're either overlapping on roles and responsibilities or we're underlapping, meaning nobody's doing it, there's a gap. So I'm literally showing you my internal just so you can see. And I want to show you what it would really look like if I was filling it out as a new business. Defining who has the authority to make decisions, right down to who implements. Super important, crowdsourcing this, doing this together in an e-share document. And then this is another one. I know it's Excel, guys. Roles and then responsibilities, very different. I think we get into trouble in our businesses realizing we think responsibilities is authority and it is not. Responsibilities are the actions that we take to get something done. Authority is what level of authority we have to decide. So when it comes to marketing and all pieces outside of marketing, I am a huge proponent of these two templates, not because we created them, but because we have saved companies using them. And
Yeah.
frankly, we've retained staff using them. So template out, crowdsource. I think this really helps. And it'll help even in your meetings. Like when you're struggling with who should present this part of marketing or this part of the business, go to the chart. It'll tell you pretty much who should be presenting.
I'm going to need you to send that to me too.
I know.
They're awesome sheets, Jen. They really are. All of a sudden, I need a fractional chief operator in my
I wonder.
Yeah,
You're wearing that hat right now if you didn't know it.
I
So
am.
that's
I am. And you've got some great tools. We've done all right over the years, but I can see where I can improve myself. So that's
can't we all? Can't we
yeah,
all?
that's
Hence the green
very
eggs and ham, guys. We're all in change.
yeah.
So
Yeah. Why don't you share the giveaway, Jen, because everybody download this. This is a cool piece.
yeah, and guys, I'm not trapping you. This idea is, first of all, the download includes a template for the improvement planning or strategy work. So that was the what, why, when, and who with the 4 Ps to help you. And also we did the Excel-based, not very technical marketing template metrics. So you can download that Excel sheet and then plunk in your own tech and your own numbers, and the graph will instantly fill out. Yeah.
You're
Thank
not.
you, Chef, for
I don't think we're seeing it, Jen.
I'm
Good
not going to show
description.
you. Okay, let me just show you what it looks like, just so you guys know. Hold on. I'll bring it
Well,
up. Okay.
And I've got it if you want me to share it.
No, no, this is what it is.
Yeah.
Okay. The improvement plan and the marketing metrics. Can you see this now? Are
Yep.
we on
Yep.
Excel? Okay.
Got it.
So you'll get this piece and you'll get this piece.
Let's put the link to this. Oh, I didn't see that second piece when I downloaded it earlier, but let me I'm going to put the link
Yeah.
to this in the chat.
Okay.
And then something I realized I didn't do at the beginning of our conversation was say, hey, if you have any questions or anything,
I was just
put
going to
it-
say
just put
questions
it,
are totally
just,
fair.
just
Yes.
put it in the chat.
Come on. It's like free advice. We'll tell you all everything.
Yeah. That went to hosts and panelists. So give me a second here
Okay.
so I can get it to everyone.
Yeah. And then when you get that, guys, there'll be an email address. So if you want the roles and responsibilities, like just email back and we'll get that to you. We have another link for that. I'm hearing a lot as we get near year end and a lot of different initiatives going on. People are getting really, friction is rising around authority and responsibilities. And I would love to hear that go down.
Yeah, very cool. That is that. So the link is in the chat. Go ahead and grab that. You guys, it's a cool resource. And I didn't even see that second spreadsheet on there. So it's even cooler than I thought, Jen.
Thanks. No
Yeah.
problem.
I'm going to share one more time because I want to at least give you my QR code for booking. So if you'd like to spend a little time together, that's my giveaway of time.
It's a good one.
Yeah, we got a ton of resources on the website. So if you want to check out what's there, it's social-advisors.com. This is for 30-minute sit down, talk about where you're at, what your strategy is, where your gaps are. My knowledge is absolutely complimentary. And I like meeting new people if we haven't met before. So we'll give you that for a second. And then before I stop the screen share, let me grab that marketing QR code again, that survey. So we'll leave this here for a few minutes. I'd love to get your input on that marketing survey. The larger the sample, the better the data. I don't know how many times I've said that in my life, but it's
So true.
yeah.
So true. I know. And I'm going to just say this, the more honest it is. I think we get in our heads and we think things are either more successful or less, or we sign ourselves up. We have a business operations assessment, and I know when people fill it out, they fill it out the way they want to be, not where they are. Yeah, I think it's really important to fill it out where you are.
Yeah, and I'll let you know that with that marketing survey, fill it out where you are. You can remain anonymous if you want to. Now, if you do remain anonymous, we can't get you the data. So if you want the data, you're going to have to enter an email address. But we just love to know where, as much as we can, know where the industry is so that we can continue to adapt and provide the tools that bring the industry and advisors forward. Yeah. Jen, any closing wisdom for us?
I don't think I have any except pull out some markers, pull out a whiteboard, get ready. That's all I'm going to say.
Out. I know you can see it. But I've
Out
got
ahead, guys, out
I've-
ahead.
Yeah, really. Yeah, very much. But I've got like a 4 foot by 10 foot whiteboard on the wall. And there are times that my bedroom's be on the other side of that wall. I don't think I'm fooling anybody that I'm got this fancy office anymore, but
No, I'm going to talk about non-fancy. I go to Home Depot and cut up the board that you use in your bathrooms behind your tile.
oh yeah.
So guys, listen, not everybody, some people are remote, right? We don't have glass
Yep.
walls and beautiful whiteboards like Charlie.
Well,
You don't need it.
that is a masonite sheet. It costs $20 at
Yes,
Lowe's
it
or Home
is.
Depot.
20
Yeah.
bucks makes me
Yeah.
4 huge whiteboards. Come on,
Yeah.
the price is
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, it's amazing. Sometimes I got to use Windex to get it off and clean,
That
clean
doesn't
exactly
matter.
like a whiteboard.
Buy a
But
new one for that.
yeah, it's a $20 masonite sheet, not
That's
a
right.
$200 whiteboard.
Yeah,
which is
when I
wild.
had to sand a wall back in the day and you painted the wall and that's how you got the full wall whiteboard. Yeah, no, you don't need to do that anymore, guys. Anyway.
Jen, you're a pleasure. You're a perfect person for this conversation. I so much appreciate you taking time to share your wisdom and share the tools that you guys use internally and externally. We didn't get any questions. That's because we're so good at what we do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to put your contact info in?
Yeah, I'll put that
Cool.
in the chat. You
Yeah,
guys,
you want to
how
just
you
drop
reach
it in the
out.
chat?
I'm just going to put it on the website because literally our email's right on the website. So just
Yep.
make it nice and simple.
Yep.
Um,
Cool.
Yeah. Thanks,
Cool.
guys, for joining, especially those of you that are sitting at a conference. And it's
Char-
great, Charlie, just hearing your wisdom too. It's nice that we're aligned. That
Yeah,
means
I love it.
we're on the right path, right?
Yeah, Jen and I have had an opportunity to work on some projects together, and you're awesome at what you do. I've got my full endorsement. So,
Thank you.
and anybody who, and we talked about doing one of these in April with bringing in a chief
Yeah.
investment officer and maybe a chief financial officer, and just looking at outsourcing executives for a fraction of the cost of hiring it. So keep an eye out for that. And then I've got another webinar coming up. I'll plug real quick on the 18th. So keep an eye out for that invite coming your way.
Awesome.
Jen Goldman, my friend, thank you very much. And everybody who took an hour of your day to hang out with Jen and I, we're easy people to get in touch with. So make sure that you reach out if you got some questions.
Bye, guys.
Thanks, Jen. See you.